What is your favorite part about being a scientist?
So I enjoy doing what I do just because it's something new every single day and we're able to contribute to something bigger than us. And it's rewarding in that respect as well as just, as I mentioned before, having the innovation of new things happening every single day.
Things about being a biomedical researcher is that I have the opportunity to collaborate with so many other passionate and intelligent scientists from not only around the country, but from around the world. So when I walk down the hallways of my laboratory, I hear about all these exciting and new discoveries, but oftentimes I hear it in a different language. So it's very inspiring to me that not only are we curious minds, but science has brought us all together.
My favorite part about being a scientist is that I get to help people. There's a lot of diseases that don't really have good treatments or medicines yet, and the scientists are the ones that get to be able to come up with those new medicines and new treatments.
My favorite part about being a scientist is the puzzle, the thrill of the hunt. With each experiment or project, with each question answered, the recognition of the big picture and how the pieces of the puzzle come together fills me with great excitement. The opportunity to discover or build upon something no one else has ever done before in the history of the world is, for lack of a better word, just awesome.
My favorite part about being a scientist is that it's not a regular job. It's not like a 9 to 5 job. Well, we do have sometimes like those schedules, but it's completely out of the routine. You're always facing new challenges. You're always having like different experiments to run, getting different results, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But all of that, it just makes it like really fun to want to do it for forever and for the long time instead of having like a office job.
My favorite part about being a scientist is being able to work on a team where we're all working together to try and discover something brand new so that we can help other people.
Science is hard, and a lot of times it doesn't work the way you think it's going to work. And so, my favorite thing about science is when I've been working really, really hard and failing over and over again, and finally, my experiment works. I get super, super excited, and then I want to tell everybody about it.
What do you do when an experiment fails?
So what do I do when experiments fail? Well, one, I remind myself that it's a common part of science. Try not to get too discouraged. And two, I'll try to do something smaller, easier, not as challenging, but I still feel that I've accomplished something. So maybe clean up my workspace, maybe prepare some stuff for the next experiment.
Sometimes you can design an experiment and it really doesn't turn out how you would have thought or how you would like it to. But I think an experiment really never truly fails because you can always learn something from it, and that's what keeps me going.
The first time an experiment fails, I think about, okay, what could have possibly gone wrong? I make a list of those things and I then correct those things. Then when it goes wrong the second time, I usually will take a walk, clear my head. When it goes wrong a third time, usually I'll just like go home and revisit it the next day. And if it goes wrong again, I usually talk about it with some of my scientist friends and sometimes even my family members, just to kind of like troubleshoot and clear in my head like what might actually go wrong, have gone wrong.
What is the weirdest thing you have done as a scientist?
There was one time I was collecting samples out of this lake, and I looked down and my hands were covered in leeches.
So I do human subject research, and in our research projects we have to call people and see if they want to take part in the study. So that's kind of weird. You get a random phone call from me in the middle of the day asking you if you want to come in and help us learn more about marijuana. So that can get a little bit weird, but it's also totally something that people are willing to listen to, and it turns out to be okay, but it is a weird process.
Weirdest thing I've had to do, and also the grossest thing I've had to do as a scientist, is I've had to take mice that I was dissecting to get tissue for DNA and RNA extraction, and I've had to cut their heads off, open up their skulls with scissors, and then pull their brains out and use tweezers to take out a specific part of their brain called the hypothalamus. And I did this dozens of times. It was real gross.
The weirdest thing that I've done as a scientist is analyzing some really weird samples for some previous research projects. I've analyzed blood for a snake, poop from a mouse, and pieces of human brain.
Whoa, science is Awesome. Thanks for watching.